Showtime's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With a vast library of over 1,200 events from boxing's most memorable bouts of all time, Boxing TV melds the past greats with today's promising young stars. Boxing TV is the free go-to destination for everything boxing, including classic bouts, live events, and news and information. Boxing TV is available on Local Now, Distro TV, Sports.tv, Select TV, and www.watchboxing.tv. Follow Abrams Boxing on social media at Abrams Boxing on Twitter, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, and at Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. This is Marc Abrams. Little technical difficulty. Another edition of the Abrams Boxing Show. This week we got two good guests. Carlos Castro, the once beaten featherweight, he would take on Brandon Figueroa this Saturday night on Showtime, and also Avery Sparrow, a lightweight now moving down to junior lightweight, will take on William Foster III on July 23rd at the Fillmore right down the street here in Philadelphia. So let's get the news and results of the weekend. First big one was a big upset down in Australia where Jay Opataya won the IBF Cruiserweight title with a 12-round unanimous decision over longtime champion Myris Briedis. Scores are 116-112, 115-113, and 116-112 for Opataya. It was a tremendous fight. It really was. Fought, he said, from round 2 on with a jaw. Could have been during the fight, but he broke his jaw very possibly in 2 places. But he was able to withstand and had a good game plan, land some good shots. He bloodied Briedis also. It was a real bloody fight, but Opataya is your new IBF Cruiserweight champion of the world. Also, Saturday afternoon here in the United States, WBO number 1 ranked heavyweight Joe Joyce returned from a layoff to pound Christian Hammer, stopping him in round number 4. His time was 120. Joyce now 14-0 with 13 knockouts, and look for him to get a big fight very, very soon. Probably his next fight, whether, I don't know if it's going to be a title fight, but he's in line for a big fight. If Tyson Fury can't get into the United States and Joyce is with Frank Warren and Fury's with Frank Warren as well, could be an easy fight to make, but, right now Fury said he's retired. Actually, read something today. He could be on his way back to the WWE in October as they have a big event in Wales, I believe. And it's very possible Tyson Fury could be appearing there. This week, you get back in the swing of things after a relatively light weekend last weekend due to the 4th of July holiday weekend. Hopefully everyone had a safe and sound and healthy 4th of July weekend. But this week, Derek Chisora, 32-12 with 23 knockouts, takes on Kubrat Pulev, 29-2. That fight is a rematch of a fight won by Pulev a couple years back. Also on the card will be a rematch between Israel Madrimov, who's 8-0 with 6 knockouts, and Michelle Soro, 35-3-1, 24 knockouts. Madrimov won a very controversial stoppage. Turns out that he maybe hit Soro after the bell, all kinds of craziness. Soro was doing well in the fight, but Michelle Soro and Israel Madrimov will be getting it on as the co-feature this Saturday on the Zone as the chief support to Derek Chisora taking Kubrat Pulev. This Saturday from San Antonio, Texas, Marc Magsayo, 24-0, 16 knockouts, will take on former world champion 5-0, 22 in a battle for the WBC Featherweight Championship that's held by Magsayo. Should be an interesting fight. You got the tall, rangy Vargas taking on Magsayo, who battled against Gary Russell back in January. It could be a very interesting contest. I think I'm going to lean toward Ray Vargas a little bit. Style, maybe just maybe a little bit too tricky for Marc Magsayo, but it should be a great fight. 2 undefeated fighters going at it for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Also on the card will be Brandon Figueroa taking on Carlos Castro. Figueroa, the former 122-pound world champion, moving up to featherweight, 22-1-1 with 17 knockouts. Taking on Carlos Castro, 27-1 with 12 knockouts. We talked to Carlos Castro. Give me 1 minute. I just want to tell you what the opening bout will be. Frank Martin will take on Jackson Marinez. Marinez is going to be a late replacement for Ricardo Nunez, who I understand had trouble getting into the. So we will see Martin take on Jackson Marinez, and Marinez for giving Rolly Romero a good fight. As I mentioned, the co-feature of the Big Showtime will pick Brandon Figueroa with Carlos Castro, and I had a chance to talk to Carlos Castro earlier this week, and this is how it sounded. Now joining me on the line is featherweight contender Carlos Castro, who takes on Brandon Figueroa on Saturday night, July 9th in San Antonio in a WBC elimination bout, live on Showtime Championship Boxing. Carlos, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Good. I appreciate your time. So to talk about this fight coming up on July 9th against the former champion at 122 pounds, Brandon Figueroa.
I think it's going to be a good, interesting fight. I think people aren't going to want to miss this fight. I think this fight has fireworks written all over it.
Talk about, well, first we'll start with you. Your last fight, you lost a very narrow split decision to Luis Neri back in February. Talk about that fight. You were, a point here, a point there from getting your hand raised in February.
No, yeah, it was a narrow decision. He was just a better man that night. He came in with his game plan. Like I said, he was just a better man, and he just barely narrowed the decision. But we're looking forward to this fight. That's the past. The past is the past, and I'm looking forward to my future.
I think you're the first guy I've ever interviewed who's lost by like 1 point, who said that the other guy may have won. I've never heard that before. So that's kudos to you. Brandon Figueroa coming up from 122 pounds. What's he bring to the table?
He brings his relentless attack. His nonstop punching, his attack. I think that's what he brings to the table. He wants to get his name back up there. He wants to be crowned at 126, and I want the same. If the opportunity's here, the opportunity came for me to come up at weight as well at 126. I'm taking it.
Yeah. You've been up and down in terms of you've been in the 121, 122, 120, up to 126. What weight suits you best?
I think either one. I make the 122-pound good. But the 126, they're giving you a couple extra pounds, so it feels great. It feels great. We've been making the weight easy. We're only like 2 pounds away, which that means camp's been going tremendously well. We're ready. We're ready for a good action-packed fight.
I know for a lot of your career, you were fighting on the local Phoenix scene up until like the last 3 fights or so. What's it been like? Kind of not only stepping up the level of competition. You fought on pay-per-view cards. Now you're fighting on Showtime Championship Boxing. What's it been like the last year and a half, 2 years? Since you've been fighting in these more high-profile contests.
It's been good, man. A dream come true. Any fighter that's coming down from the bottom, it's something they always dream. It's something they always look up to. Watching your favorite fighters fight on TV, and now you're doing it, so it's a dream come true. It's a big motivation for me. Why? Because I can inspire younger people and younger fighters who maybe think that their career is stuck, or maybe think that they're not getting anywhere because they keep fighting in local shows or whatever. But sooner or later the door will open, and as soon as the door opens, take advantage of it and live your dream, man.
What, beside the obvious jump up in competition, what's been the biggest adjustment? Is it like doing stuff like what we're doing, the interview request? What's been kind of like the biggest adjustments from going from that level to the pay-per-view, the Showtime, that type of level?
No, yeah, I think it's the interviews. The interviews were like, hey, you got an interview here, you got an interview there, which they're pretty cool, but for someone that's not really talkative, or someone that is not really into interviews and stuff like that, like, it's kind of like, oh snap, I got an interview, what do I do, or what do I say? But I've been getting comfortable to it.
I know you're not looking past this fight. Obviously, you have a tough customer in front of you, Brandon Figueroa, but I'm sure you especially if you win, are you going to rush out to watch the main event, which is the WBC featherweight championship bout between Marc Magsayo and Ray Vargas?
Of course, I have some of my family there, so of course, hopefully we win. Everything comes out as planned. We gotta rush out there because this is the WBC title eliminator, and hopefully everything goes well. We'll get the winner.
What do you think the featherweight division? Obviously, Gary Russell has had that title unlocked for quite a long time. Magsayo comes in there to upset him back in January. Do you feel now that the featherweight division is wide open? Do you see a guy to beat in the featherweight division?
No, I think the featherweight division is another hard division because, like you said, you got.
I think we're.
As well, you got Ray Vargas, who just think it's a pack. They're like, you just fight your way up there.
Do you have a prediction for the main event?
I'm not really, but oh man,
we're losing you. I think you're driving into a bad cell area. I think. Do we have you back, Carlos? Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad. Maybe we'll end it there. Hold on, let's see. We'll give you 10 seconds to see if we can get you back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There, you're a little bit better. So we're asking you a prediction for the main event.
Okay, prediction. Zayo edge it out, but in a hard competitive fight with Ray Vargas.
So if obviously I know your prediction is for your fight, your prediction for Marc Magsayo. So can we see Marc Magsayo, Carlos Castro later in the year for the WBC featherweight title? Is that's what you think is going to happen?
Yes, of course. If everything goes well, I never look past. We got Brandon Figueroa in front of us, but if everything goes well and if everything goes as planned, those are the plans. I would love to fight Marc Magsayo. Why not?
There you have it. Anything you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go? Where are you driving to? Driving to, I assume, the gym.
Well, yeah, we're just getting out the gym.
There you go. What do you want to say to the fans in closing?
That you guys aren't going to want to miss this fight. You guys got a great main event, but as well, you guys got I think, even better co-main event. You guys got Brandon Figueroa, you guys got me, two Mexican fighters that are going to go at it and that want to do the best to go get another title shot.
There you have it. Thank you, Carlos Castro, for a few minutes of time. We wish you best luck. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night, July 9th in San Antonio, Texas, live on Showtime Championship Boxing, taking on Brandon Figueroa for the WBC Eliminator in the featherweight division. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, guys, man.
Thank you. There you have it, Carlos Castro. Very good interview. Nice young man who gets a big opportunity Saturday night. Win, and a title shot is his. So we'll be looking at that. I kind of like Figueroa a little bit in this fight. He just, he's got one loss, and it was a very close decision to Stephen Fulton, and we know how good Fulton is. And so, I mean, I'm leaning Figueroa. So I'm liking. Go back to Pulev. I'll take Pulev, Madrimov in the fights from England. We'll go Vargas. We'll go Figueroa, and we'll go Frank Martin in the opening contest against Jackson Mariñez. Also, Pro Box TV's back on Friday night, I believe, or Saturday night. Cesar Francis 10-0 taking on the former world champion Ray Beltran, 37-9 and 123 knockouts. That's from Plant City, Florida. Some news and notes: Shakur Stevenson will defend his WBO his titles, his unified titles against Robson Conceição. That play will take place September 23rd, most likely at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, and televised on one of the ESPN platforms on September 23rd. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, I don't think it's going to happen. And as of this recording, just about a half hour before the recording of this podcast, it's been reported by Sports Illustrated that Jake Paul may fight Hasim Rahman Jr., who's 12-1, legitimate fighter, big heavyweight. Guys fall as high as about 260-something pounds. I guess Rockman's going to. I don't know. He's going to boil himself down the cruiserweight. I don't know if it's going to be a catch weight somewhere in maybe the low 200s. So we'll see. But could be Jake Paul against Hasim Rahman Jr. That again is the rumors going around after Tommy Fury was not able to get into the country, get onto a plane for the press conference. Jake Paul's like, the heck with this. No more waiting around. This is the second time he's been stood up, but for lack of a better term, by Tommy Fury, and they're going to go at it. He's going to go at it with Hasim Rahman Jr. Mikey Garcia, as we announced at the very end of last show, Mikey Garcia has retired. He put on his Instagram page where you see underneath the bio, says retired world champion, 126, 130, 135, 140 pounds. So best of luck in the retirement for Mikey Garcia. A good show that isn't being televised by one of the major networks is going to take place on Saturday night, July 23rd, an 8-round main event featuring Philadelphia super featherweight Avery Sparrow, 11 3-4 knockouts, taking on SHOBOX. Guy just won on SHOBOX, William Foster III, 14-9 knockouts. That fight will take place at the Fillmore in Philadelphia, right on Columbus Boulevard there. It's going to be a tremendous fight. I mean, a fight like that's not on a network TV it's a real coup for hard-hitting promotion. So it should be a terrific night of action on July 23rd. And one of the participants in that main event is the aforementioned Avery Sparrow. And I had a chance to go down to the gym and visit with Avery Sparrow, and this is what he had to say. Here with Avery Sparrow on July 23rd, taking on William Foster III, main event, the Fillmore. Big fight in Philadelphia. How you feeling?
Feel great. Ready, prepared. Got a good training camp going on. Nice preparation for the fight. Feeling good, ready to excited, ready to get in the ring and show my talent and my skills. It's been a while since I've been in tip-top shape, so I'm feeling great about this opportunity to display my talents in front of my hometown crowd. I haven't fought in Philly in a long time since I fought Hank, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. You're coming off a big win. You just went into Pittsburgh, defeated a kid, Matt Conway, is 21-2, the hometown kid. What did that do for your confidence? It was just good to get back on the winning side of things. As far as my confidence, I never really lost my confidence and stuff like that because I was fighting at the top level. But I knew I wasn't in shape, and I was in there. Those are the fights that I actually could have won, but I just wasn't in shape. So it just felt good to be on the good side of winning things. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it was. Foster's a quality fighter. He's actually come into this town before and beat Donald Smith. Maybe a little similar to you. Like he's a guy who looks like he'll take on anyone, anywhere, kind of like you are. We'll talk about William Foster III. What does he bring to the table? I don't see too much that he brings to the table. I mean, he's an undefeated guy. He wants to keep his O. So he's going to come hungry, but there's levels to boxing, you know what I mean? He did beat Donald Smith, but Donald Smith hasn't fought the level of opposition that I fought. He's a great fighter. Donald Smith is a great fighter, but I've been on a different level. I fought higher level caliber fighters, and it's just a totally different intensity level in fights and totally different level of boxing that I don't think that he's been on yet. And him coming to my hometown, and him being willing to take on, you know what I mean, anybody in tough fights like this, it's good. It's good for him to do that, but I just think he bit off more than he can chew this fight, and he'll learn. What is it about you? I mean, you've only had 14 fights. People think you've been around forever, right, because you've been taking on probably tough fighters probably since your 5th, 6th fight, and you've been, going on the road fighting guys, Rolando Romero, all kinds of guys. Mm-hmm. Where'd that mentality come from? Well, I've had a lot of amateur fights and stuff like that, so I fought a lot of top guys in the amateurs, so I knew my talent and my skills were there, and I always felt like the same as a guy like Rolly Romero can hurt you, the same as a guy that's 0-1 or 11-11. It's the same thing. They could do the same thing that hurt you. So what's the point of fighting that guy, taking the same risk, and when I could fight somebody that has
a risk, but a higher reward. You know what I'm saying?
You obviously the win against Conway give you couple that if you are successful on July 23rd. Where does that put you in the mix?
Hopefully we can start getting back in fighting guys in the top 5, top 10. Get bigger fights again, get back on national televised events and cards and stuff like that, and just go from there. Take it one fight at a time like we've been doing, you know what I mean?
If you rack up a few in a row, maybe that Ryan Garcia fight comes back around.
We're not too focused on Ryan Garcia. We're focused on the belt. So anybody at 130 that has a belt, you know what I mean? More like at 130, like the Shakurs, the Valdezes, and the guys like that at 130. I'm not going to go to 35 just yet until I can get an opportunity at a major title.
So you're sticking at 130.
Sticking at 130 for right now, yeah.
I don't want to use the word regret, but some of those fights you took at 135, do you? I don't know if regret's the word, but do you sit back and say to yourself, maybe I should have stuck around 30?
No, absolutely not, because those fights that I took were fights that allowed me to grow as a man, as an individual, not only in the ring but outside the ring. So I kind of needed those fights to get back focused on my career, get back focused on other things outside the ring other than just boxing. You know what I mean? So there's no regrets in anything that I've done. It's always just life lessons and learning.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing? We'll see you on July 23rd, right down the road here at the Fillmore.
Yeah, July 23rd. Come out. It's going to be a wonderful fight. Bunch of great fights on the card. It's going to be exciting. Everybody's going to give their all, and it's going to be a wonderful show. So come out and support July 23rd.
There you have it, the main event, a great main event. We just sent the pressure list. I actually used the word mouth-watering because it's undefeated guy against, Avery can beat anyone on any time, and he's proven that. It'll be a great fight on Saturday, July 23rd at the Fillmore. Avery, thank you for a few minutes of your time, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
There you have it. There you have it. Avery Sparrow takes on William Foster III. We'll get William Foster III on the next week or so. Quick news and notes. WBO featherweight champion Emmanuel Navarrete, 35 and 129 knockouts, will defend his world title against Eduardo Baez, 21-2-2. That will take place August 20th at the Pachanga Arena in San Diego and be on one of the ESPN networks. Super welterweight Liam Smith, 31-3-1 with 18 knockouts, former world champion, has officially signed with Boxer. He was just with Matchroom, so he'll be looking to face maybe getting the Jermell Charlo sweepstakes at some point. The WBC got note that Josh Taylor is going to relinquish their 140-pound world championship. Then that will set up a title fight, a rematch between Jose Ramirez and Jose Zepeda. The terrific first fight that they had a couple years back that saw Ramirez win and get his titles, and be an excellent fight. Finally, Jarrell Big Baby Miller will be back in action. He just won a 10-9 decision down in Argentina. He will take on opponent be named in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He just won on June 23rd. This fight will take place on July 23rd. So that about wraps it up this week. I want to thank my two guests who joined me, Carlos Castro, who takes on Brandon Figueroa this Saturday night live on Showtime as part of the big triple header that will be featured by Marc Magsayo taking on Ray Vargas for the WBC Featherweight Championship. Also, Avery Sparrow, who, again, we fight in July 23rd against undefeated William Foster III live in Philadelphia at the Fillmore. Fans, if you're in the area, that's definitely a great fight to come check out on July the 23rd. So I'd like to thank everyone who's tuned in to watch. Keep an eye out on Abrams Boxing on YouTube. All my social media. We're going to have a lot of interviews going on this week. I was down at the gym, interviewed a bunch of the fighters that are going to be on the July 23rd fight at the Fillmore, plus the promoter Manny Rivera from Hard Hitting Promotions. So I'd like to thank everyone who's watching this week. Tune in this next week for the Abrams Boxing Show. And